Good morning, Keller Williams, Milwaukee. Happy Tuesday. Get the Mandy show today. Happy final week before Christmas. We have a lot of exciting stuff to get over today and celebrate some cappers and look at awards and a special guest hopping on a little bit later. So go ahead and jump in and get started. I wanted to first recap our successful United Way campaign that our group came together and raised almost $11,000 for United Way with, I think, a day notice to do it. So congratulations, you guys. It's going to make a huge difference and help out a lot of our local charities. So thanks for all of those who contributed to the United Way campaign. Now we're going to celebrate some of our own people with our November cappers. We got a bunch of people to get through, starting with Laura Brewster. Despite breaking her ankle less than a year ago, Laura went on to do more listings than she's ever done in her career, and didn't let that impact what she did. So congratulations, Laura, on capping. Next up, we have Holly Gamblin from the JSG Group. The queen of the multitask, Holly continues to cap every year while raising her 3 beautiful children and working hard. Next, we have Mike. Mike joined us less than a year ago as a newly licensed agent, capped in under a year. He transitioned over from his job working with the Milwaukee Brewers, and he's proving that he's not going to be part of that 80% that doesn't make it to year 2. So huge congratulations to Mike. Noah Jacobson also joined us less than a year ago. He's out in the KW Innovation office. Wears a lot of hats. Noah is on the Nicollet team and father of 3, also does a lot with Brew City investors and of course residential real estate. So congrats to Noah on capping. 2 of my favorites, Judy and Joe Pemberton, also made the move over last year from Ogden, where they have over 4 decades worth of experience. A lot of multifamilies, Judy's experience in condos, as well. She's my unofficial Door County tour guide. And if anyone knows, I'm up there all the time. Judy knows everywhere I need to go. So if anyone's making a trip to Door County, tap into Judy. She'll tell you what you can't miss. Rick Rubin, not only is he capping today, but it's his birthday. So if you see Rick, make sure to wish him a happy birthday. Never too busy to share his time with those around him. And if you haven't checked out his podcast, Maureen was his latest guest. So be sure to listen to his podcast, More Than a Sign. It's awesome. Yeah, it's good. I did. Yes. Nicole Worsich on the Stale Realty Group. Congratulations on capping in November. Just 3 years ago, she joined and has capped every single year. So congratulations on doing the right activities and capping year after year, Nicole. Bruce Gallagher out in Lake Country. Bruce continues to set the pace out there, getting the attention of publications like the Milwaukee Business Journal. He just crushed a goal and sold a home of over 15 million this last year. So congratulations on the huge year and all of your success. Anyone who runs a big team knows they can't do it alone. So Kathy is on, not only is Bruce's sister, but on his team and has helped with all the success they've had out there. So congratulations to Kathy and also Kathy. Turner Jacques, after moving back from Madison in the middle of COVID, he not only capped, but also moved, got engaged and married all in the same year. So congratulations to Turner on juggling life and business. Kicking butt. Last but not least, Elena Zeman extended her business out into Lake Country in the year of 2022, continues to build that relationship with Miller Marriott, and has taken her business to new heights this year. So if you don't follow Elena on social media, I think that her impeccable style and her humor, she is honestly the modern day working mom, and huge congratulations to Elena on all her success. All right, next I'm going to hand it over to Lindsay, who's got some tech and marketing updates.
Good morning, everybody. All right, so last week I talked about, 3Xing your activities, but this week I really want to make sure that we talk about your database, because you need that first before you can actually do the activities and reach out to your database. So we want to 2X your database this coming year, you guys. And so if you haven't heard, there are 4 laws of a database. You have to organize and you have to build it. You have to feed it every day, and you have to communicate it to it in a systematic way, hence the SMART plans and the marketing drip campaigns. And then you have to service those leads that come your way. And so recently, Keller Williams did looked into the relationship between contacts in command and GCI. And I believe Charlie actually shared this slide a couple of weeks ago, but I wanted to dive into this a little bit more and provide some of the data that they found. And you can see directly on this slide, you've got the number of agents on the left-hand side, you've got the number of contacts in command at the bottom, and then you have GCI on the right. And if you take a look, the line really starts to move up around the 201 contact mark. And so some of the data that they found was 87% of agents who left Keller Williams or real estate in the last 12 months have had less than 200 contacts in their database. On average, agents with 201 plus contacts have sold 8.1 listings versus 2.7 for those with less than 200 contacts. And this is the best one. If you have 201 plus contacts in your database, you are 3 times more likely to hit your cap. So 3 times more likely if you have more than 201 contacts in your database. So let that sink in. If you do not have more than 200 contacts in your database, I highly, highly recommend making that your number one goal by the end of the year. So hopefully by now, everyone's done their CE, you've renewed your license. If there's one thing that you can do between now and the end of the year is make sure that you have more than 201 contacts in your database. Even if you do have 200 contacts in your database, make sure you have phone numbers for each of those contacts. You have a mailing address and you have an email address. It is so important to have that database to be able to do the activities and gain that business. So if you are working towards 200 contacts in your database, we have a ton of resources. And one that Marty Miller just came out with was he did a video, a short 20-minute video on 3 ways to hit 201 contacts in command. So he talks about best practices in terms of downloading contacts from your phone, your iCloud account, getting them into command, looking at tax records. So if you're looking to farm an area, how can you grab contacts and mailing addresses from the MLS tax records, and then adding contacts using social media channels. So if you are interested in this, the website is club201plus.com, or you can scan the QR code. So it's about 18 minutes long. It's just a video really to help you get those contacts and get them into command. And if you have any questions regarding this, I am here to help with this as well. So you guys make sure to reach out to me if you have any questions. If you need to, pull the contacts from your phone, there's a super easy way to do that. There's a free app that you can download, and I'm happy to help with all of those things. So again, one thing by the end of this year, if you do anything, if you're sitting around the table with family and friends, make sure that those people are in your database. If you're at holiday parties, I know, a lot of people are attending holiday parties. Make sure that you are utilizing those events and talking to people, and again, getting that contact information and putting them in your database. Tech and marketing training, again, just a reminder, the next 2 Thursdays, this is on Zoom, Thursday at 11 a.m. This week, we're talking about agent websites, how to set it up in command, how to personalize it. Next week is all on the sales pipeline in opportunities. Switching gears really quick, just a quick compliance reminder. So hopefully everybody knows about the bell icon in the upper right corner in your command account. Please make sure you are checking these notifications. If you are submitting documents for compliance review and you get anything returned, Kimi Herbert is actually commenting as to why these documents are being returned. So any approved documents, you will receive a command or command app notification. But if you have a rejected document or a returned document, you are also going to receive an email as well as a command and a command app notification. And so you can either click on that bell icon in command and see, your commission or your compliance request has been approved or returned. And to actually see those comments, you'll see that in the documents section of your opportunity. And in the screenshot here, you'll actually see a little kind of message. If you hover over that, you're going to see the exact message from Kimmy as to why that document has been returned to you. So if you have any questions on this as well, please reach out to me for anything compliance and command. Happy to help and steer you in the right direction. So thanks, everyone.
All right, you're going to hear us talk a lot about that 200 plus club with your contacts. So a lot of new agents, we have a lot of tools and it can be very overwhelming. I hear it's like drinking water from a fire hose. If you do nothing else, just load your contacts in your database. And if you're wondering why you haven't gotten paid, chances are you have a message from Kimmy in your command. So thank you, Lindsay, for going over that. I'm going to switch it over to the sheriff, who's got a few compliance updates for us this morning.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I do. It's a short one, but it's something that pops up almost all the time. So when a deal is unfortunately falling apart, we have the CAMR, the cancellation agreement and mutual release is something that we must use. So we're getting situations on what happens to that earnest money and how is it returned. So next slide, please. Let's say the client, the buyer, the seller, usually the buyer who is cammered out of the deal, the earnest money is still held by the firm and they are waiting to get their earnest money back. So a buyer or seller is entitled to receive the earnest money in accordance with the terms of the offer. So make sure you know what the verbiage in the offer is about earnest money and disbursement. And then it's directed by the cancellation and mutual agreement and mutual release form signed by both parties. Then it's a matter of waiting until the bank can process the money if paid by check. And this is important. Make sure that you educate your client who is getting earnest money back that it will take about 10 days to process the return of this money. And 10 days is sort of a guideline. Sometimes it can take more, rarely it can take less, but that you are, as the client's agent, responsible for explaining this process about the return of the earnest money and the estimated time for receiving directed disbursement. So why are we bringing this up today? Go to the next one. If you are an agent for the buyer or seller awaiting the refunded earnest money, it's up to you to find out the estimated time for return and educate your client. Please do not give out our administrator's, Jen Turner's, contact information to your client or to a co-broke agent who has a client waiting for earnest money. Jen let me know the other day, said she's being inundated with calls from co-brokes about where's my client's money, where's the return of the earnest money. They even had clients call her directly wanting to know where their check is. Jen Turner is not set up to be talking to co-brokes or to our clients. So please do not pass out what her contact information is to anyone. She is internal for all of us Keller Williams agents and always ready to help. But she doesn't appreciate getting calls from co-broke agents or actually from clients looking for their money. So that's for people who are entitled to get their money back. They just are a little impatient and want it back ASAP. And because of the processing, it can't be ASAP. So then there are situations where we don't have a mutually signed CAMR. Say the seller is holding out and not wanting to sign it, even though they probably should sign it according to the contract. But sometimes sellers will sit on that or actually refuse. So if they are refusing to sign a cancellation agreement, mutual release, the earnest money sits in the trust account of the firm until proper authority instructs the disbursement. And proper authority usually means a lawyer or a judge or the courts. The firm, Keller Williams, or any other firm holding a trust account cannot unilaterally decide to disperse the earnest money. So even though we're holding it in our trust account, we cannot unilaterally say, oh, I think the buyer really deserves this, we should send it back to the buyer, or vice versa. The parties should resolve their differences. And I would say in most cases, you as agents help do that they finally get that mutually signed document and the earnest money goes where it should. Or if that can't happen, then you also, the clients should seek legal advice on what their next alternatives are. And I would say, and I say it a lot, small claims court can hear both sides and instruct the disbursement of earnest money with no limit to the amount. So small claims does have a cap on the amount of money that can be decided, but not for earnest money. You have a very large earnest money dispute, small claims court will still hold it. It's very easy, it's inexpensive, and it is a good place to resolve disputes. And I get this question a lot, you know, seller won't sign the earnest money disbursement, but, or the buyer won't sign it. Can the house go back on the market? The seller can put a property back on the market if the CAMR hasn't been mutually signed, earnest money hasn't mutually been dispersed, but if they accept an offer, it has to be on the condition that this transaction, this first transaction, is canceled and the earnest money is resolved. So they can put it on the market, get an offer, but they can't go forward with that offer until they get that release from the first offer. So this is a big reminder. We are one day from the deadline for the CE. So make sure that you get everything in. You have to do it by midnight tonight. And if you do not, you cannot practice real estate if your new license hasn't been certified. So make sure you get that in, get that all tied up, and get it over to Steph that you are now legit. All right. Thank you.
Joan, appreciate it as always. Yes, Steph wanted me to just throw these in here quick. You guys, you have a day left. So if you haven't done this, do it, follow the steps. Steph did tell me this morning too. She said, if you haven't done it and you're worried about it, call her today. She can walk you through how to get it done quick. Please don't sleep on it. If you have questions, it's stephc@kw.com. So, yes, Ross.
Question about earnest money.
Yeah.
Is the return process expedited if trust funds is used at all?
Joan, the question about earnest money is it expedited at all if trust funds are used?
No, the process is still the same, I'm pretty sure, but make sure that you understand where the process sits and you educate your client or you educate the co-broke if you can. But I don't think when it's in a trust fund, to be able to refund it back out of a trust fund, it does take that process.
All right. Thank you, Joan.
Sure.
All right, I have one final reminder too from Jen that if you did move in 2022 to please update your address from the MCA's office so that you can get all your tax documents. So there's the emails there if you have moved like me twice in the year 2022 to get her your updated addresses. All right, it's not Christmas yet. We have a few events left on the training calendar this week, some really great stuff. Today in the North Shore, we have our cookie exchange. So even if you didn't bake cookies, we have a hot cocoa bar and a lot of fun stuff going on. So come down, hang out with us for the cookie exchange today at 11:30. And then KW Innovation is having their white elephant next week, December 20th at 10 a.m. Really great training opportunity this week, this Wednesday. So tomorrow at 10 a.m., Emily Fair and Kevin Hinton are going to be talking about the unique pricing strategies in this market. So had to get a little bit more creative with how we're pricing homes instead of just saying, sure, we'll try that. So they're going to be talking about some new strategies and how to price your listings in this market. So tomorrow, North Shore Training Room at 10 a.m. And then last but not least, we have Maureen and Friends for those who are invited this Friday on Zoom. Invite only 10 a.m. the 16th, Maureen and Friends this Friday. Ignite, exciting announcements on Ignite. I have the instructor lineup. So if you guys have been thinking about taking Ignite, looking for a refresher, we have an incredible lineup of teachers from all across the Milwaukee area. So you'll see people from New Berlin, Innovation, North Shore, Lake Country. You'll see all these same people when we go over awards later in team meeting. You'd be learning from the best. Every time we do Ignite, it's different. So if you've taken it before and you think you've learned it all, please come back. It's an incredible class. It's free. I consider it kind of like a mini Bold. There's a lot of accountability tied up into it, and it's a really great opportunity for those who either couldn't afford to take Bold or just are looking to stay motivated going into the first quarter to sign up for Ignite and be all in. So there's the link to sign up. Starts January and it's from 9 till noon. Family reunion. So family reunion is in person only this year. So if you are thinking about signing up, they are going to shut it off at a certain point. So the last few years we've had it virtual or in person. So if you are thinking of heading out to Anaheim, February 18th through the 21st, it's in person only. And it is an incredible opportunity to meet top producers from all across the country and work on your referral network and learn from those doing the business at a really high level. So hopefully we'll see you all in Anaheim. Next, we're going to shift over before I welcome our special guest on. We're going to talk a little bit about something we've talked about before, but in a different way. So we talk a lot about how winter is coming and we know what comes with it. There are seasons of abundance, and we talk about this all the time, right? Our energy dial. There's seasons of abundance. There's seasons of scarcity, there's seasons of renewal and seasons of growth, and they're present in every facet of our existence, not just business. So they're present in relationships, sports, sales, and life. I think that it's most important to think of this in terms of the economy, even though most people seem to conveniently forget this basic truth is that when the economy is growing, we tend to forget the basics. So we tend to believe that it will grow indefinitely and that we're invincible, and we take on more risk and we lower our guard a lot. So during the times of growth and abundance, when things are booming, there's a tendency to ignore those fundamentals and we become complacent as we sail on those smooth waters. So we assume we're succeeding because we're so awesome at what we're doing. And as soon as that goes, we confuse the bull market. So during cycles of abundance, even the weak can succeed. Then as summer fades and trees go dormant and the animals head into hibernation and we're left freezing in the cold without a coat, we act as if we didn't know better. Winter is always coming, but somehow we choose to forget what comes with it. And that is the nature of cycles. So recessions and economic downturns exist to expose our fragility and build strength and resolve. They're the swift kick in the ass that professionals require to get back to the basics and execute at a higher level. These down cycles punish foolishness and poor judgment, weed out the incompetent, and expose salespeople who have strayed from the fundamentals, while the true rainmakers surge to new heights. So when we look at all of these awards that we're going to talk about coming up, January 1st hits and we're all back at zero. So now that winter is here, I want to challenge you all to look at the world through different eyes and refocus your mindset for the year to come. We've been talking a lot about finding peace in the pace of the market and where we are in the cycle and using this time to sharpen our skills. And I really believe that starts with how you think. So I don't know, has anyone read the book Selling in a Crisis by Jeb Blount? Very good book. He goes through 55 ways to stay motivated and increase sales in volatile times. I'm going to go through all 55. I'm just kidding. We're not going to go through all 55 ways of staying motivated in sales. But I am going to go through 4 that were all around mindset because they're things that you can do immediately. And we talk a lot about things we can do, but mindset is the easiest way to make a change now. The first one that I really liked was rise and survive. He says the key to outselling in a shift is action. The strong look forward and not backward. Those who quickly adapt and innovate thrive, and those who rise are those that become disciplined, focus on the fundamentals of sales, and make smart choices. Disciplined sales professionals who faithfully execute the fundamentals will outmatch their competitors, take market share, and watch as their incomes soar. The second thing he says is put your swimsuits on. We've talked about this a little bit, but it comes from Warren Buffett, who once said, only when the tide goes out do you get to see who's been swimming naked. Excellence in sales requires you to master time management, prospecting or lead gen, listening, presenting, objections, negotiations, and closing. So put your swimsuits on, focus on those few fundamentals. In any endeavor, especially in sales, when actions are repeated consistently, the positive outcomes are predictable. And the key words here are consistent and repeated. So don't let up. The third thing you can do with your mindset is be right now. Wherever you are, be there. He says right now is the only thing that is real. Right now, you have 2 basic choices. You can wallow and worry, or you can take action. And not just any actions. He talks specifically about right now actions. So he says, what action can you do right now to build your pipeline? What action can you do right now to leverage technology to gain that competitive edge? What action can you take right now to bring additional income to your family? And what can you do right now to enjoy life and the ones you love? So in a shift, you can't stick your head in the ground and hide your way out of it. You cannot worry, complain, or cry your way out of it. What you can do is mind your mindset, put your chin up, move forward, and climb your way out of it right now. So I liked shifting that mindset to being a right now mindset. The fourth thing he says is the only 3 things you can control. It's human nature to want to control everything. We seek certainty, safety, and security above all else. There are only 3 things you can control: your actions, your reactions, and your mindset. Nothing more. To outsell in a shift, it is crucial that you acknowledge the truth and step back from your emotional need to find easy street. Rather than worrying about the things that are out of your control, focus your energy on what you can control. The 4 easy things to shift your mindset going into the new year when you end up back at 0 and we all begin again. So we do have a special guest on our call, I believe. Yes. Okay. Matt Teter is joining us. Matt is an incredible coach, MAPS coach, executive leadership. He meets with Charlie, Diana, Josh, and I once a week, gets us in line, both mindset wise and that kick in the butt that we need once in a while. So he's going to come on and is gracious enough to share his time and talk a little bit about mindset and going into the new year. So Matt, I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks so much, Mandy. How's everybody doing? Whoa, we got lots of people on. Hey, if you can, I know there's, oh my gosh, I know there's so many things going on. You probably got kids running around, and you got holidays that are happening, and you got buyers that you're working with, you got sellers calling your phone. If you can be on camera, if you can be on screen, I love it, right? If you can be here, if not, I love that you're listening. By the way, if you're driving 10 and 2, right, be safe, okay? We're in a whole new world today with Zoom plus in person and everything we have going on. And speaking of a whole new world, some things have changed in real estate, haven't they? Is it a little different than it was 6 months ago, a year ago? Yeah.
Very.
Okay. Got it. And so, have you ever heard the phrase, in order to get to better, first you have to get to different?
In a similar fashion, yeah.
Okay, in a similar fashion. So you might want to write down, in order to get to better, first you have to get to different. Well, the first thing that we all have to do together is frame the change in the environment as an opportunity. I know it's annoying. It's the kind of like hopium and like, it's like kumbaya stuff and optimistic. And yet there's a point to that. The most successful people in the world look at challenges as opportunities. Right? So the first step is, okay, in order to get to better, first I have to get to different. Well, the market's different, so we have an opportunity to get better. Right? What Gary Keller did in 1995, Gary Keller wrote this concept called the 6 business disciplines. How do I know that? Well, I had this weird opportunity in 2019 to write a course called Maps Models with Gary one-on-one. And in 1995, he wrote this one business discipline with one model called the business breakthrough model. And here's how it works. The first thing that we do, right, is, he said our current thinking leads to our current behavior. And our current behavior leads to our current habits. And our current habits leads to our current key relationships. And the combination of our thinking, our behavior, our habits, and our relationships creates our current ceiling of achievement. Now, does anybody have goals next year that are to outproduce what you did this year? Yeah? Okay, great. We want to do more, which means that whatever we're currently producing is our current ceiling of achievement. Whatever you earn right now is how you think. Breathe. It's okay. I'll make it better. I promise. Yet I know that impacts everybody because that's a 100% impact comment. However you earn is however you think. Right? If you want to earn at a higher level, you have to what at a higher level?
Think at a higher level.
Think. That's why the book is called What and Grow Rich, Will.
Think and grow rich.
It's called Think and Grow Rich. It's not called Do and Grow Rich. Right? So let's unpack that for a second, right? This is just a shift in our mindset. And guys, a shift in our ladies, right? Gentlemen, everyone, a shift in our mindset is really important because the shift in our mindset is what precedes the shift in our action. A shift in our action repeated on a consistent basis creates a shift in our habits. The shift in our habits, you've probably shifted a habit before, right? Maybe you're like me and you used to party and have a great time. Then you stopped and said, I'm an adult now. I'm not going to do that anymore. And your relationships changed. Maybe that happened for you like it did for me, right? So a shift in your habits changes a shift in your relationships. And the combination of new thinking, new behavior, new habits, new relationships changes your achievement. So we got to start with, well, why would we think differently, right? Well, you're in a different market, so it's going to require different thinking. More importantly, if we want to produce a different result or a bigger result in our earning, we have to change the way we think because we're earning in direct proportion to the way we think. We can prove it to you. If you work 40 hours a week, the hardest you could work is 3 times more. They've studied it, and the average person can only work 120 hours a week. And they can't even do it long term. They can only do it for a couple of weeks, he or she, and then they would stop. He or she or they, and then they would stop. It's not repeatable. It's not sustainable. So if the answer was work harder, it's important for us here. If the answer was work harder, the most you could ever earn is 3 times more than what you earn now. And yet, let's just take this on for a minute. Pick your favorite billionaire that you love to hate. Okay, you got them in your mind? Perfect. Everybody's got a billionaire they love to hate. I got it. Everybody's got a billionaire that they wish they were doing better things with their money. I love it. Perfect. So you got them in your mind. Now, that billionaire, right, wrong, or indifferent, if you're a millionaire on this call, they think 1,000 times bigger than you. If you make $100,000 on this call, breathe through it, they think 10,000 times bigger than you. If you ever listen to a billionaire talk, Gary Keller, and it's confusing, it's because they're thinking at a level 1,000 times bigger than the way you're thinking. And we could take that as a personal indictment. We could look at that and go like, are you calling me stupid? No, not at all. Not in any way, shape, or form. Am I saying that? I'm saying you have an opportunity to get 1,000 times better than you are right now. Pretty exciting. No matter where you are in your lifetime, it's just a thinking problem. And the exciting thing about it is if it's a thinking problem, we all have the opportunity to level up. If it's a doing problem, we got an issue because we may have a challenge or we may have something that limits us physically from doing. Because it's a thinking opportunity, we're all on the same level. We're all on the same playing field, which means we all can grow. So we got to change the way we think. How do we do that? Well, right now, I'd probably think about making sure I was in the mindset of what's really happening. A great book for that is go listen to Selling in a Crisis by Jeb Blunt. Download on Audible, Selling in a Crisis by Jeb Blunt, right? Or read the book. Now, for those of you on this call going, Matt, I'm a hard copy book person. I don't like to listen to Audible books. I'm not going to do it. I get it. I understand that, right? I've got hard books here. I have 2 libraries in my house. However, I cannot consume content at the rate that I need to learn in order to level up my life by reading. It's not fast enough for me. Maybe it is for you. So what I do is I listen on Audible and I speed it up. Did you know that you could listen 4 times faster than you can speak? If you're on this call and you hear my voice, you can listen and process information 4 times faster than you could ever speak. Your brain is already wired for it. You have a supercomputer between your ears. Well, man, I have to retain as much information as possible. The reality is when you read a book, you're going to take away 2 or 3 things. If you listen to it and speed it up, you'll take away the same 2 or 3 things and you'll go through content faster. And therefore you'll think at a higher level. So you can take higher level actions. Woo! Okay. We're picking up the pace. This makes sense?
Yes.
This is one of the big things that people that achieve at the higher level do. They consume more education, right? And they look for the things that push a button or trigger an activity so that they can take action faster. So the first thing we got to do is got to change our thinking. I would read Selling in a Crisis by Jeb Blunt's 55 Strategies to Sell in a Market Like Today. It was written in 2022. The information is present. You could listen to the Audible book in 3 hours at 1 time speed. Don't listen to anything at 1 time speed. You're going to listen to people breathe. Don't do that. Oh my God, don't do that. Listen at 1.5 times or 2 times speed, speed it up. You listen to the book in an hour and a half or maybe even an hour. And you'll do it while you're driving in your car. You'll do it while you're grocery shopping. You'll do it while, right, you're waiting for your kids to get out of school because those damn pickup lines don't move any faster. You know what I mean? You'll do it like that. And you'll change your thinking. That's the first step. Then we got to change our action. So the question to write down for yourself is, do I have a lead generation habit? And be very careful answering this question, okay? Most of you are off camera, so I'm not even looking at almost any of you. Will and Joan and Andy and Willis and Mandy, right? You're getting the brunt of me looking at you, okay? And yet I'm not really looking at anyone in particular when I ask these questions, right? It's for everybody to ask yourself. It's rhetorical, right? Do I have a lead generation habit? And be careful. The habit means something I do every day. A habit means, like, do I have a brushing my teeth habit? Do I have a putting on my pants habit? We all have those, I hope. Now, maybe you're off camera because you don't have pants on, you didn't brush your teeth. I get it. Yet we all have habits, right? Okay, got it, Mandy. Lots of people in there on camera, brush their teeth, pants on. I appreciate that. Good. Now we got to check on, do you guys think the call was going to go this way? Right? It was going to be this crazy? Cool. Stay with me. Now we got to check on, do we have a lead generation habit? Or differently put, do I lead generate for 2 to 3 hours every single day? Woo, okay, I got it. I understand how exciting that is. For a second, just play this game. What would be different if you did? What would be different in your business? What would be different in your bank account? Exactly. What would be different in your stress level? Here's something I want you to consider. Daily accountability to the things that are most important is one option. We either have to choose that option or we choose the other option, which is if we don't do it every day, there's going to come a point where the bills due and we got to do it all at once. Yet we never escape it. And that's what we forget. So if I don't do it every day, people go, I don't need to do it every day. I'm getting a referral here or there. Somebody called me. It's all good, right? And then the market changes and referrals dry up and the business isn't the same. There's more competition and I haven't been doing it. And now I feel this immense pressure to do it all at once. And then people go, I'm going to do a bold 100. And then they wear themselves out just like people that think they're going to go get a 6-pack in the gym in one day. And then they don't go for the gym to 2 weeks or they don't lead generate for 2 weeks and they don't actually fix the problem. So here's what I'd start with. Building a lead generation habit is a little every day. Start today. Lead generate for 15 minutes today. You can do 15 minutes, right? Start flexing the muscle. Start building. You could do 15 minutes. You can make a couple calls. You can reach out to your database. You could do a little bit. Now, that's the action. Let's start the action. Change the mindset with the book. Start the action. What's the next step? Build the habit. In order to build a habit, you got to do something for 66 days. For 66 days. For 66 days. That's 3.5 months, Monday through Friday, every day. Woo! That's the reason why if we were taking a lie detector test and I asked you, do you have a lead generation habit? those results to be interesting. That's all I'm going to say. I just say they'd be interesting. Okay. Because you have to do something for 3.5 straight months every day to have a habit or even have a shot at a habit. So we're going to probably need to enlist some help. Let me put it this way. Imagine all of us on this call had the same friend. Can you imagine if we all had the same friend, right? How weird that friend would be. I mean, how cool that friend would be. Okay. Imagine we all had the same friend, right? I'm not saying you're weird. I'm saying I'm weird. If they were friends with you, it'd be normal. Me is the weird part. So we had the same friend, and this friend who's never worked out before, ever in their life, told us January 1st, 2023, I'm going to go to the gym every single day next year. What would you say to that friend? They've never worked out before. They're going to go on their own starting January 1st every day. What would you say?
Good luck.
You go, well, that's, yeah, you're kind, yeah, we would, there's a really bad word that has letters that stand for it that you might say if you're from the East Coast like I am. If you're from the Midwest like you guys, right, you would say good luck, right? I love that. Okay, good. Now, let's imagine that oh, well, I mean,
Well, I mean,
get
like
it.
you facetiously good luck, like, you know.
Will, the one good thing that I can pick up on, right, is a little bit of sarcasm, right? I do speak that language, so I'm with you. Okay. So the first thing we would all say is unlikely to happen, right? Good luck. On the East Coast, they would say bull, and then they would say cookies or something. I don't know what they'd say next. Okay. Now, imagine that same friend said, okay, I have another friend that goes to the gym every day, and they're going to hold me accountable to go with them starting January 1st every day. Now, what would you say?
Let's
What do we
ride.
think now?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Will, you're famous for your phrases. I like this.
I'll
right?
be that
So
friend. Yeah.
I got it. I love that. We'd say more likely. Okay. More likely. Now let's imagine the same friend said, I have somebody that already has the habit established. They're going to hold me accountable to do it every day. And the two of us together are going to hire a personal trainer who's going to coach us and hold us accountable. Then what would you say?
Now you're making money.
Okay. That's how you build a habit. You already know all the answers. You already know how to change your behavior in a consistent enough way to build a habit. The only tough part is you haven't done that yet in your business. It's not it's just a thing. It's not a judgment. It's just you haven't done it yet in your business. You haven't gone to somebody inside your market center or a leader in your market center that already has the habit built and said, can I lead generate with you every day? Would you hold me accountable? Right. And that's the starting point. The second level of that is you haven't maybe necessarily, some of you have yet maybe necessarily hired a coach that's going to hold you accountable. And if you remember and think back to when you played a sport, you think back when you played an instrument, you think back when you were in band, whatever you did as a kid, one of those things, and most of us did some right extracurricular activity, you had your peers that were accountability partners, and you had a leader or a coach or a mentor or a trainer or an instructor that was giving you feedback at the same time. And your development was moving really fast because that accountability was allowing you to create a new habit. So the first thing we got to do is we got to get in the thought process that we got to change our activity. In order to get to better, first we got to different. Well, the market's different. Now we have to be different. We got to think at a higher level. The second thing is we make a commitment to start building the muscle of lead generation, because that's the thing, guys, ladies, gals, everyone. That's the thing. The thing is we got to lead generate every day. We don't have the habit. If we did, it would change everything. That's what we got to build. The third thing is we build an environment that supports the productivity specific habit of lead generation every day.
Is that sufficient?
Brittany, it's a great question.
No, it is not.
Brittany, it's a great question. Is it sufficient? Now, I'm not, if you were talking to me, it's a great question. If you weren't talking to me, it's still a great question. And what a great time for it, right? Is it sufficient? Well, your output will determine whether or not it's sufficient. If you hire a coach and you have an accountability partner and the people in this room or this company do it together, we'll be in a better place. Does this make sense? Now, the last thing I got to share with you is, this is kind of important, and yet it's a little bit scary. So can I share something that's important and yet a little bit scary? Is that okay? Okay. You're like, well, you didn't ask us for permission for this so far. So, okay, cool. So you might want to write down, in order to go up, you have to give up. In order to go up, you have to give up. I'll give you a silly one. I'll start with a silly one. Then I'm going to give you a really serious one. And then the second one is very true for my life. And I just want you to understand that my job as a leader, my job as a coach is just to be a vehicle for you to think differently and to challenge the way that you think so you can achieve your goals and your dreams. So when I share something personal, it's not about me. It's about you. It's about you finding a place in the story where you can grow. So I'll give you two personal examples of sacrifices, right, that I've made or changes I've made in my life to go to a higher level. So one, in 2014, I had a call with a mentor and he shared that with me. He said, in order to go up, you have to give up. So what are you willing to sacrifice so that you have more time to do the daily activity that you need to go to a higher level? And I had played college baseball. I coached college baseball. I had watched sports my entire life. And I decided that day to cut my cable. And from 2014 to 2019, we didn't have a TV in our house. We didn't have cable. We didn't watch TV. Okay. And I know it's not a big, I know it's like, ooh, okay. I get it. The sacrifice we made was entertainment in the daily basis. So we had more time to grow our business. Simple. Right. But we gave that up to go up. Now, in 2018, I came to a realization that I knew for a period of time, and I was able to publicly say that I'm an alcoholic. And I gave up drinking, and I'll never drink again. I told you the second one would be serious. It's okay. I'm all right. That's a permanent sacrifice. Here's the good news for those of you that are worried. I have 2 TVs in my house today, so they came back. TV's back. Yeah. Okay. Alcohol's gone forever. Yet those are 2 different versions of sacrifices or giving up something I was holding on to that I had to sacrifice to go to a higher level in my life. Does that make sense? Now, I'm not asking you to publicly say anything that's a very, very serious thing or a very insignificant thing. This is for your notes. We're not asking for people to come off mute and give testimonials for who you are and what you'd say. I share with people the things that I've struggled with to give you permission to realize that you can say it out loud if that's you, right? And if at your own time, you can say those things, you can get help and you can be better, right? Maybe somebody needs to hear that on this call. I don't know. The bigger point is this. You're going to have to make a sacrifice to be able to go to another level, because if you're playing a game of wedging more things into your life to achieving at a higher level, it's not going to work. You can't just keep wedging more things in your life. You don't have more time in a day. So some things have to come out of your life for you to go to another level. And the thing is, it might be temporary. You might give a short sprint of, I'm going to lead generate for 2 to 3 hours a day for the next 12 or 18 or 24 months. Some of you are going, whoa, 12 to 18 to 24 months. Well, in the grand scheme of your life, that's short. In the grand scheme of your life, that's short. And it just starts, like we said, change the thought, change the action, build the muscle, build an accountability-based environment, and you're off and running. Yeah, you're going to have to make sacrifices of some of the comfort level we have so that we can go to a higher level of our lives. And the funny thing is, in the short term, we give up time, money, opportunity, or control. Those are the things we have to give up: time, money, opportunity, or control. In the long term, we get all 4 back. I promise you. I promise you that. If you're willing to give up those things to do the work that's most important and build your business, you'll get all 4 of them back. If you're not willing to give them up, you keep wedging things up, you're actually going to lose more. So it is a choice we constantly have to make. And that's it could be simple like me. It could be you're going to stop watching TV. It could be that you're going to delete the social media apps from your phone. It could be, I don't know. Right? Yet that's going to have it's kind of the hard part of this, because when we change our behavior, we have to change our behavior. When you add a new behavior in, you have to remove a behavior that's not serving you or replace a behavior that's not serving you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Was this helpful at all?
Very much helpful. If I'm the only one speaking, but I'm sure many others in the room are saying yes.
Mandy, any feedback from the peanut gallery?
Mind blowing,
Oh,
simple, not easy.
yeah. Yeah. Welcome to life. This thing was never hard, right? It just isn't easy to be able to do the right things, because the wrong things are so easy to do. Right? We know the right things. It's just they're not as easy to consistently do. The wrong things are so easy to do. Turn on the TV, scroll through Instagram, right? Go have another drink, right? The distractions in our lives are so easy to execute on, right? Yeah, okay. Anything else?
Maureen's coming.
Okay.
So Matt Teter, couple of things
Yes.
that are mind blowing here today. We're the wedge.
Okay.
Something's got to
Yeah.
give, right? If you're
Yep.
really going to make a change, you got to figure
Yep.
out what's got to give. That to
Yep.
me, I sat here thinking 100% right. So what is it
Yep.
that we're going to give to make that change? I
Yep.
think that was, and then I had to laugh so hard at your 1X. Listen to people breathe. I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
this is the way Matt Teter coaches. You're going to read this
Yeah.
book, and you're going to 3X it, and we're going to get through it, and then we're going to talk on Thursday about it, right?
That's right. That's
And this
right.
This
That's
is
right.
Matt at 1X. Can you imagine Matt
Yeah.
at 1.5 or 2X?
Yeah.
I swear
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
1X, Matt.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing. The praise is great. I appreciate it. I love the feedback. For everybody in the room, right? Some crazy person got on a call and started talking, right? And now we're talking about, oh, he's so great. Oh, he's this. I'm a person like you are. You know, in 2015, I had to lose 55 pounds, right? And I didn't time block my schedule. And when I became a team leader, I was a punk kid at 26 that thought I understood leadership and I didn't understand anything. Right. And I had a leader on my leadership team tell me that when I see your car in the parking lot, I cry because I hate working with you. So if you're sitting here thinking this guy has made it and this is amazing and how can I be like that person? I'm a human being having human experiences like you are. The only thing that might be happening is I might be a step ahead in some areas. And yet 99.99% of everything in the world are things we don't know that we don't know and we'll never know. So all of us are just little kids running around trying to figure it out. And the good news about that is nobody is actualized. Nobody is enlightened. Nobody has made it in every area. They've got certain things figured out where they can help you. Yet if you feel behind, right, it's okay. I just walked you through an action plan where you can get it together in this area. And if I was sitting there talking to any of you one-on-one, there's all kinds of things I'd be asking you that you can teach me. Right? Just take the action consistent on a daily basis. Right? You can learn these skills. The other biggest thing I'd say as we wrap up is this. There's an idea that people have natural talents. And yes, you are born with things that you are gifted in. That is absolutely true. And yet you have to stop saying that people have this talent or that talent. The vast majority of things that you see in human beings are worked on every day. And the reason why you don't think that is you don't see their work because you don't see their life. I've had 18,000 coaching calls. Does it make sense why I can make a 30-minute conversation make sense? If you had 18,000 coaching calls, you'd be doing great too. You didn't see the other 17,999. You're just on this one, right? And yet you're sitting there going, wow, so good. So no, it's the work. And once you realize that your ability to go to another level is, am I willing to put in the work? Am I willing to do the reading? Am I willing to educate myself? Am I willing to learn what they've learned to achieve what they've achieved? Will I do the work? It's not a talent question or answer. It's a work question or answer. And when it's thinking and it's work, we're all on the same level of playing field. That's the good news. The tough part about it is once you realize that, there's no more excuses anymore. Talent is an excuse. When you say someone else has a talent, you go, well, they have the talent. It's your way of saying, I can't do what they do because I wasn't born with what they have. Wrong. You can do exactly what they do and more. You have to do what they did to earn it. Stop making the excuse of saying it's talent. Learn what people have done and copy the behavior and you'll have whatever you want.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Milwaukee.
All right, guys, we're going to look at your results here real quick and protecting your time. I do want to jump into awards and look at your success from November. We know Matt's great. Let's look at how great you guys are. Let me jump back in here. All right, here's where we stack up with 1 month left in the year with November awards. We'll make sure, I'll go through these quick, but I'll make sure we get these posted for everyone. Individual volume for the month of November. Michael, Doreen, Jordan, Connie, Elena, Molitor, Betsy, Oberbrunner, Jessica, Kyle, Ann, Mike, Julie, Kevin, Jeff, Lindsay, Mara, Brian, Turner, who we just saw capping, and Kevin Matson. November team volume. Top 5 JSG, Falk Reuven, Gallagher Lake Country, SRG, and Duval Group pulling in the top 5. Congratulations. Year-to-date individual volume, John Molitor with 28 million, Doreen Drummel, Kevin Gardy, Damara, and Abby Wall, bringing up the top 5 year-to-date for individuals. Year-to-date team volume, JSG, Falk Reuven Gallagher, Stolly Realty Group, Gallagher Lake Country, and Marcus's team with On Point Realty in the top 5. Units for individuals, John Molitor, Abby Wall, Kevin Gardy, Sarah Oberbrunner, and Susan Fellows. Year-to-date team units, JSG, Falk Reuven Gallagher, Stolly Realty Group, On Point Realty, and Duval Group Real Estate. Percentage of increase in their business, Becky Thomas, Sierra Watson, Coco Wallach, Frank Cinto, Gerardo, Jean, Judy, Kendrick, Mike, Nancy, Natasha, Shakilia, Tracy, and Turner. Congratulations. Gross commissions earned for agents on a team, Blake McKinney, Kathy Shaw, Danielle Forrest, Ellen Pertel, Janine Warner, Jonathan Newby, Casey Lopez, Kathleen Rosenheimer, Katie Thomas, Lauren Foy, Maggie Drain, Martha Ola, Megan Stale, Steph Miller, and Steph Minnick. $1 million month for November. Congratulations to these individuals who closed $1 million in the month of November. And then our home run club, agents making money this month and next month. So congratulations to this group of individuals having a strong 4th quarter. All right, that's all we've got for team meeting for today. Oh, hold on.
Hey, you guys, I have one comment to make about Matt Teter. You guys have to absolutely respect the fact that our leadership team is on a call with him every week and you say, oh, he's an amazing coach. He's incredible. Are you kidding me? He's tough. He gets on these calls with these guys and he says, and they're Zoom like that. And he asks a question about a homework assignment they had. Did they read the book commentary? And then he goes silent. There's no not showing up. There's no silence. You must comment. He is tough. He is tough. So you guys should admire your leadership team for taking that on.
And we pay him for that?
I watch them and I'm like, oh God. A little bit scary because he's just like, what's up? What's up? And then he just goes silent and you're like, oh, does anybody get a comment? So you guys congratulate your leadership team for.
All right, guys, have a fantastic Tuesday. I ran a little long. I'll stay on for upcoming listings and buyer needs. So I'll switch it over. If you've got those, get them ready for me. I'll be right back on.